Okay, this training is going to cover SEO, search engine optimization best practices, and using your metadata tab to control your metadata, the information that's going to help with your SEO. And at Newfangled, there are three areas that we highly recommend that you work with, and they're all controllable via the CMS. And these three areas are the three areas that search engines put the most weight on. So your search engines being Google, Yahoo, they go through and index the web. They have bots that go through and do that. And there's certain elements that they put more weight on when they start to serve up their search results based on that content that they have indexed. So when they're going through your site, they're going to be indexing all your content. So it's very important that you have keyword rich content. Okay, so words that you think your potential customers are going to be using to search for the content on that page. What you're trying to do is you want to have a balanced between branded and unbranded search terms that your users use to find you. Okay, so when you go in and you're going to have Google Analytics with your site, and you go in and you look at your top search terms, obviously there's going to be Lindsay or Zomatic or whatever, because that's people that know you, they're going to be looking for that. But what you want to also increase is some of your top search terms should be unbranded terms like pivots or center pivots or irrigation solutions, certain keywords that you know that your customers are going to be using to look for your products. Okay, and those three areas that we recommend are your friendly link name or your relative URL, and that's everything after the .com. In this case, it's about Zomatic, and Newfangled CMS automatically creates this for you if you do not enter a friendly link, and I'll show you where to do that in a second. It's going to default to the actual page title. Once again, I hit escape to remove the CMS edit controls. I hit escape to bring them back. So right now this page is called About Zomatic, so that friendly link name is also called that. Another very important, the second one for SEO, is your actual page title. So your actual, what we refer to as H1, your first header, your header 1. Okay, and that's why we talked about earlier on in your menu pages, you might want to have something, this might end up being called About in your menu. So let's go look at this content edit. You might decide the menu title, call this About Zomatic, but the actual main title, you can put in some more details so that you can get certain keyword rich phrases in there that people will be searching for, because that'll be beneficial. And in some situations you need a nice clean title, so you may just keep it simple and use some of the other elements we're going to talk about. The final, the third one, and there's other areas too, but the third one that carries the most weight that we really encourage you to work with is your actual meta title. It's referred to as the page title in the metadata tab in the CMS edit screen. I'll show you that in a second. And that's the title that shows up at most browsers. Now I'm in Firefox, so you can see that. Right now it also defaults to your page title if you don't have anything entered in there. So right now it's just saying About Zomatic. Not all browsers show this. Chrome does not display it. However, Chrome does. It still is indexed, so that information still lives there. Google's going in there and getting it. Just Chrome doesn't display it. But Firefox does, and you can see that. And I want to show you how, an example on our website, what we've done. So this is our agency partnership. We work with advertising agencies to build websites for their clients, and with them, the ad agencies as well. And we have a page dedicated to that. And you can see that our friendly link name here is Web Development Partnership for Ad Agencies. The page title that displays at the top of the browser, then we'll call it the meta title, Ad Agency Web Development Partner. So we notice how we switched it up, because some people might search for partner, some people might search for partnership. So we kind of varied it here. In our friendly link, we use a longer name, Web Development Partnership for Ad Agencies. Up here is Ad Agency Web Development Partner. Now this meta title, you get about, I think it's 66 characters. The CMS will cut you off if you go past it, so you can't go any further than what's allowed. So you can even go more details here. Think in terms of a concise thesis statement about the content that's on that page and how your potential customers might be searching for that content, and work that in there. You do not have to put your company identifier on every page here. You got it on your home page. That's enough. The search engines are indexing your URL so they know what your name. So here, don't waste the space on your company name. Use that for other things. Now, you may want to put in some location identifier. So if you're specific to a certain region, like Lindsay Europe, you may want to put that in. But make sure you have, detailed keywords and phrases that people will search in there. Almost like I said, a concise thesis statement that includes those phrases and keywords. And then finally, our page title is just agency partnership here. So how do we edit that in the CMS? Well, every page that is a menu page or accessible, even blog posts, case studies, if they have details pages, even your hidden pages, they all have, if you go to content, edit for that page, they all have a metadata tab. Now, page title, the first field, this is the about, where right now it's saying about Zamatic. I want to change that. So I'm going to say irrigation solutions and products. I'll put a bar there, you can put a colon, and I'm going to say pivots, laterals, sprinklers, and you can keep going and listing them. I'll just do that for now. My link name, about Zamatic, right now defaulting to the page title. If I wanted this to be something different, I could say about, and I'm sorry, let me redo that because you do not need to put in those dashes. The CMS will automatically do that for you. So about Zamatic irrigation. Okay. And then my title. If I wanted to have a shorter menu title here, I could do that and then have a longer title that has more details. So I could put about Zamatic in my menu title, and then here I'll put about Zamatic irrigation solutions and products. Okay? Brittany, I promise I'll change this back for you. Click Save. Alright, now you can see it's still called About Zamatic, but I'm going to hit Escape to hide the CMS controls. About Zamatic irrigation solutions and products. About Zamatic in the menu still. My friendly link name is About Zamatic irrigation, and my meta title here is irrigation solutions and products, pivots, lateral, sprinklers, and I would list as many categories of products that you carry or things that people will be searching for when they're looking for that content. And as you go in and you get deeper and specific to certain products, okay, so go in and list the types of crops that this, and the type of product that it is, and the types of crops that it serves, and anything that you can think of that your potential customers will be looking for that. Okay, other areas that help with that, and let's go back and let's look at your metadata again. I'm going to go back to that About page. Content, edit, and back to my metadata tab, the third tab over, and you have your meta description and your meta keywords. Meta description is, you can put in an alternate description of what that page, what it's about, maybe a brief synopsis that also includes keywords and phrases that people may use to search for that content on that page or on your site. And the meta description, the search engines don't put as much weight on this, but this is what will display if a user enters a search query and what is found in the meta description is more relevant than the actual content of the page. It'll display this meta description. But ideally, it'll be displaying some of the content that's actually on the page. But this description is something where you can go in and kind of just do an overview of that page. The other one is your meta keywords, and we still include this field. Google does not even recognize this field anymore. The problem is that people would go in and just dump as many keywords as they could. They were spamming Google, and Google caught on and they stopped indexing this content. So you can put in a list of keywords if you want. Some of the other search engines do still index it, but they don't put very much weight on it. And so it's really probably not the best use of your time. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need to work in keywords throughout your site. You want to work those keywords into your content. You want to work those keywords into your page title, the meta title here. You want to work those into your actual page title. So think about that. And then another area that really helps is doing your H2s, your second level hitters. And H2s, I think, are good for two reasons. One, it helps with SEO. It carries a little more weight than just your regular text. And then two, it helps the user find what they need quickly. So if a user comes to a page and it's just all text, the good chance you're going to lose them. But if you go in there and you have different hitters, different sections breaking down with the different content, if they can be categorized that way into hitters, then I think that's just sort of a best practice, because they'll be able to find what they need. There's different research that goes into it. One particular study that we like to quote, it said that new users, sometimes you got about 10 seconds to grab their attention, and if you don't get it in those 10 seconds, you're likely going to lose them. And I think if a user comes to a page and it's just a rambling text with no hitters or sections in there, you're more likely going to lose them. But if you can organize it for them so they can find what they need quickly, then I think that's going to be beneficial. So your H2s help as well. Now, how do you generate that? Okay, these are all H2s, or these are actually H3s, but you can go in and do H2s or H3s, and I'm going to put test title. I'm going to highlight it. I'm in my formatter now. Okay, I'm going to open up, remember you can open up this toggle full screen mode, so you can see this. I'm going to highlight it, and there's this drop down. It defaults to paragraph, which is just your basic font. And I'm going to say this is my section header. That's going to be your H2. Okay, I'm going to toggle back to the regular one and click Save. Alright, and there is my H2, and then here are some H3s as well.